The wine glass shattered against the rocks 200 feet below. That was the last thing Victoria saw before her husband's hands pressed against her back and pushed. What would you do if the person who promised to love you forever tried to murder you? If you survived a 200-foot fall that should have killed you? If you woke up in a hospital bed and realized your husband was standing over you, disappointed you were still breathing? Victoria Brennan weighed 230 pounds. She was invisible in her own marriage, a ghost in her own home. Her CEO husband had a mistress, $1 million life insurance policy, and a plan. He thought pushing her off that cliff would solve all his problems. He thought she'd die quietly, disappear forever. He was wrong. This is the story of a woman who fell 200 feet and rose even higher. A woman who lost everything and gained herself. A woman who refused to stay invisible. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning. The morning of their 22nd anniversary. The wine glass shattered against the rocks 200 feet below. Victoria Brennan watched it fall. The crystal caught the afternoon light. It tumbled end over end, down, down, down. "Look at that view, Vicky." Marcus's voice came from behind her. Breathtaking. She stood at the cliff edge. Her hiking boots sent small stones tumbling into the void. The Pacific Ocean stretched endless and gray below. Wind whipped her hair across her face. "It's beautiful," she said. 22 years of marriage. This morning, Marcus had kissed her forehead. He had suggested this hike, their anniversary tradition. Just the two of them. The old trail behind Big Sur, isolated, peaceful. His phone buzzed. Again, it had been buzzing all morning. "Work?" she asked. "Always." He moved closer behind her. One last photo at the edge, for the album. Victoria's heart hammered. Something felt wrong. The air felt too thin. Marcus never wanted photos anymore. He barely looked at her anymore. She had spent an hour that morning choosing her outfit. The loose athletic shirt, the stretchy pants, everything designed to hide, to minimize, to disappear. 3 times. Lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. That was how she checked her phone now. Waiting for his texts, waiting for him to notice her, waiting to exist again in his eyes. "Step closer to the edge," Marcus said. "The light is perfect." Victoria moved forward. Her toes touched the crumbling edge. Pebbles scattered down. She heard them hit, then silence, then the distant crash of waves. "Perfect," Marcus said. His hands touched her back. Not gentle, not the touch of a husband steadying his wife. A push, hard, deliberate, final. The world tilted. Victoria's arms windmilled. Her mouth opened. No sound came, just the rushing wind, just the spinning sky, just the horrible understanding. Marcus, her Marcus, pushing her. The last coherent thought before the fall. I knew. God help me. I knew. Earlier that morning, the coffee had gone cold in her hand, bitter like everything else lately. Victoria sat at the kitchen island. The marble was cold under her palms. Marcus moved around the kitchen. He wore his hiking clothes. Expensive, technical fabric, everything crisp and perfect. "Ready for our big day?" he asked. His tone was bright, too bright, the way he spoke to clients. The CEO voice, not the husband voice. "I made sandwiches," Victoria said. "Turkey and Swiss. Your favorite." Great. He did not look at the sandwiches. He looked at his phone. The screen glowed against his face. He smiled at whatever message appeared. Then his face went blank. He shoved the phone in his pocket. "Who was that?" Victoria asked. "Work. Always work." He grabbed his keys. "Let's go. We need to beat the crowds." There would be no crowds. The trail was too remote, too difficult. But Victoria said nothing. She had learned to say nothing. She followed him to the car. Her body felt heavy. 230 pounds of heavy. She had been 130 on their wedding day. Beautiful. Desired. Seen. Now she was invisible. The drive took 45 minutes. Marcus drove fast. His jaw was tight. The radio played softly. He did not speak. His phone buzzed twice. He glanced at it, smiled, put it away. Victoria stared out the window. Houses blurred past. Lives lived in those houses. Happy lives, normal lives. Lives where husbands looked at their wives. When did he stop looking at her? After the first miscarriage, after the second, after she gained the weight, after his promotion to CEO, after the company grew and grew and she shrank and shrank. The trail parking lot was empty. Gravel crunched under their tires. Marcus parked at the far end, away from the entrance. No other cars in sight. "Beautiful day," he said. Victoria looked at the sky. Gray clouds rolled in from the ocean. The wind bent the cypress trees. It looked like rain. "Yes," she said. "Beautiful." They started hiking. Marcus walked ahead, always ahead. His stride was long and confident. Victoria struggled to keep up. Her breath came hard. Sweat soaked her shirt. Her thighs rubbed together. Each step hurt. "Keep up," Marcus called back. She tried. God, she tried. The trail narrowed. Steep drop-offs appeared on the left. The ocean crashed far below. The path turned to packed dirt, then loose gravel, then just crumbling edge. "This is far enough," Victoria said. "Just a little further." "Best view is at the point." His phone buzzed. He checked it, typed something, put it away. They reached the cliff point. The world dropped away. Nothing but air and ocean and rocks. The wind howled. Victoria's stomach lurched. "Come see," Marcus said. She moved closer. He stood behind her. His presence felt solid, immovable. She could smell his cologne, expensive. The same one he always wore. The same scent on their wedding day. "Remember when we first started dating?" Victoria asked. "We talked about hiking the Pacific Crest Trail together. That was a long time ago. We could still do it, get back in shape. Together." "Vicky," his voice was flat. "Let's be honest. You're not going to get back in shape." The words hit like fists. She blinked. Tears pricked her eyes. "I could try," she whispered. "You've been trying for 10 years. His phone buzzed again. He pulled it out, read the message. His face softened. He smiled, made a real smile. The smile he used to give her. "Who is that?" Victoria asked. "I told you, work." No one smiles at work emails like that. The words came out before she could stop them. Accusation, suspicion, all the things she had been swallowing for months. Marcus's face went hard. "Are you seriously starting this? Today? Our anniversary?" "I just asked a question. A question that implies I'm lying." "Are you?" The silence stretched. The wind filled it. The crashing waves filled it. Marcus's jaw clenched. "You know what your problem is, Vicky? You've given up. On yourself. On us. You sit in that house and eat and watch TV and wonder why I work late." Each word was a knife. Clean. Precise. Placed exactly where it would hurt most. "That's not fair," Victoria said. "Fair? You want to talk about fair? Look at you. Look at us. This isn't what I signed up for. I had 2 miscarriages. I was depressed. You know that. That was 8 years ago. How long are you going to use that excuse?" Victoria's hands shook. She clenched them into fists. "Don't cry. Don't give him the satisfaction." "I want to see your phone," she said. "Absolutely not. If it's just work, show me." "This is insane. You're being paranoid." "Show me the phone, Marcus." His face changed. The mask dropped. For just a second, she saw something underneath. Something cold. Something cruel. Something that looked at her like she was an obstacle. A problem. A thing to be removed. Then the mask returned. "Fine, here." He held out the phone. She reached for it. He pulled it back. "Actually, no. I'm not playing this game. You want to ruin our anniversary with accusations? Fine. But I'm not entertaining your paranoid fantasies." He stepped closer to the cliff edge. "Come look at this view. That's why we came up here. Not to fight." Victoria hesitated. Every instinct screamed danger. Run, but this was Marcus, her husband, the man who had promised to love her forever. She moved to the edge. His hands touched her back and pushed. The fall lasted forever and no time at all. Sky, rocks, ocean, sky, rocks, ocean. Her body hit something, branches, a small tree growing from the cliff face. She grabbed. Her hands found wood. Rough bark tore her palms. She held on. The tree bent, creaked, held. Victoria dangled. Her feet kicked empty air. Below, rocks waited. sharp, hungry. Ready. She looked up. Marcus stood at the edge, 200 feet above. Their eyes met. He did not call for help. He did not run for his phone. He just stood there, watching, making sure. The tree creaked again. Victoria's grip slipped. Her palms were slick with blood. She could not hold on. "Marcus!" she screamed. "Help me!" He stood motionless, a statue, a stranger. Then he turned, walked away, disappeared from view. Victoria's grip failed. The tree released her. She fell again, tumbling, screaming, down into the darkness and the rocks and the end of everything. The last thing she heard was the ocean. The last thing she felt was the impact. The last thing she thought was the truth. He had tried to murder her. Beeping, steady, rhythmic, mechanical. Victoria tried to open her eyes. Her eyelids weighed 1,000 pounds. The beeping continued. A machine. Hospital machine. She was alive. Pain crashed over her. Every nerve screamed. Her right leg, her ribs, her back. Her head. Everything hurt. Everything felt wrong. Broken. Shattered. "Mrs. Brennan, can you hear me?" A voice. Male, gentle. Not Marcus. Victoria forced her eyes open. White ceiling. Fluorescent lights. A blur of movement. She's waking up. Page Dr. Morrison. Faces appeared above her. A nurse. Young, red hair. Concerned eyes. "Mrs. Brennan, you're in the hospital. You had a fall. You're safe now." A fall. The word was wrong, not a fall, a push. Victoria tried to speak. Her mouth would not work. A tube. Something in her throat. She gagged. "Easy. Easy. You're intubated. Let me get the doctor." Time dissolved. Doctors came. Nurses came. They asked questions. She could not answer. They examined her. She could not move. Everything was fog and pain and the steady beeping of machines. Days passed. Or hours. She could not tell. The tube came out. Her throat burned, raw, torn. "Can you tell me your name?" A doctor, female, kind face, gray hair. "Victoria." Her voice was a croak, barely human. "Good. Do you remember what happened?" She remembered. God, she remembered everything. "I fell." The lie tasted like poison, but Marcus was her husband. He would be here. He would be listening. She needed time. Time to think. Time to understand. "You are very lucky," the doctor said. "The tree broke your fall. You have a shattered femur, 4 broken ribs, fractured vertebrae, severe concussion, internal bleeding. But you're alive." Alive. The word felt impossible. "How long?" Victoria whispered. "You've been unconscious for 5 days." 5 days. Marcus had 5 days to plan, to prepare, to build his story. "Your husband has been here every day," the doctor said. "He's devastated. He feels terrible about the accident." Accident. Another lie. Another poison word. "Can I see him?" "Of course. I'll have the nurse bring him in." The doctor left. Victoria lay in the hospital bed. She tried to move her right leg. Nothing. Cast. Pins. Metal rods. She tried to sit up. Agony exploded through her ribs. She collapsed back. Helpless. Broken. Trapped. The door opened. Marcus entered. He carried flowers. Roses. Red. Her favorite. Or they used to be her favorite. Years ago. Before. "Vicky. Thank God." His voice broke. Tears on his face. "Thank God you're awake." He approached the bed. Set the flowers on the table. Took her hand. His touch made her skin crawl. "I was so scared," he said. "When you slipped, when you fell, I called 911 immediately. The rescue took hours. They had to rappel down, I thought. I'd lost you." His performance was perfect. The devastated husband, the loving spouse. Every word practiced. Every tear calculated. Victoria looked into his eyes. She saw the truth. He saw that she saw. For just a moment, his mask slipped. His hand tightened on hers. Too tight. Painful. "You slipped," he said. His voice dropped low. "Just for her. That's what happened. You got too close to the edge. I tried to grab you. You slipped." "I know," Victoria whispered. Their eyes locked. A battle fought in silence. He smiled, released her hand. The important thing is you're going to be okay. The doctors say you'll recover. It'll take time, but you're strong, my strong Vicky. He leaned down, kissed her forehead. His lips were cold. I'll let you rest now. I'll be back tomorrow. I love you. He left. The door closed. Victoria lay alone. The machines beeped. Her body throbbed with pain. She wanted to scream. She wanted to cry. She wanted to tell everyone he tried to kill me. My husband tried to murder me. But who would believe her? The door opened again. A nurse entered, different from before. Older, male, dark hair, tired eyes but kind. Hi, Mrs. Brennan. I'm Patrick Sullivan. I'll be your nurse for the night shift. He checked her IV, adjusted her pillows, gentle, careful. How's your pain? He asked. Bad. I can increase your medication. But first, there's someone here to see you, a friend, Amy Morrison. She's been calling every day. Amy, her best friend, her only friend, the one person who had known her before Marcus, before the wait, before the disappearing. Yes, please, send her in. Patrick nodded. I'll give you two some privacy. Press the call button if you need anything. He left. Moments later, Amy burst through the door. 41 years old, curly brown hair, sharp eyes, sharper tongue. Vicky, Jesus Christ, Vicky. Amy rushed to the bed, grabbed her hand. Tears streamed down her face. I came as soon as I heard. Marcus called me. He said you had an accident. He said it was bad, but you were stable. Are you okay? God, look at you. Victoria stared at her friend, the only person in the world she could trust, the only person who might believe her. Amy, her voice shook. It wasn't an accident. Amy froze. What? Marcus, he pushed me. The words hung in the air. Impossible. Unthinkable. True. Amy's face went pale. What are you saying? He pushed me off the cliff. He tried to kill me. Vicky, you hit your head, the concussion. Maybe you're confused. I'm not confused. I know what happened. His hands on my back. The push. He stood there. He watched me fall. He walked away. Amy sat down hard in the visitor's power. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you sure? I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. Victoria used the exact phrase. The validation whisper. I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. Amy stared at her. Processing, believing, deciding. Okay. We need to call the police. We need to tell them. They already took a statement. While I was sedated, Marcus was there. He told them his version. An accident. I slipped. But you can tell them the truth now. It's his word against mine. And look at me. I'm his fat, unstable wife who got too close to the edge. The words burned, but they were true. That was how everyone would see her. That was the story Marcus would tell. Amy leaned forward. I believe you. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I believe you. And we're going to figure this out. The door opened. Patrick poked his head in. Sorry to interrupt. Mrs. Brennan, you have another visitor. A Detective Bennett? She has some follow-up questions. Amy and Victoria exchanged glances. Send her in, Victoria said. A Detective Rachel Bennett entered. Late 30s, professional suit, tired eyes that missed nothing. She carried a notepad and a manila folder. Mrs. Brennan, I'm glad to see you're awake. I'm Detective Bennett. I've been assigned to your case. I took your initial statement when you first arrived. But I need to ask some additional questions. Is now a good time? Yes, Amy stood. I'll wait outside. Actually, Detective Bennett said, you can stay if Mrs. Brennan is comfortable with that. Victoria nodded. He sat back down, took her hand. Detective Bennett pulled up a chair, opened her notepad. Can you walk me through what happened from the beginning? Victoria told her. Everything, the hike, the phone calls, the argument, the cliff edge, the push, the fall. Detective Bennett wrote everything down. Her expression never changed. Professional, neutral, impossible to read. Your husband says you slipped, she said when Victoria finished. He's lying. Can you think of any reason your husband would want to hurt you? No, yes, I don't know. He's been distant. His phone, always on his phone, smiling at messages. I think, I think there might be someone else. An affair? Maybe, I don't know for sure. Detective Bennett made more notes. The responding officers found two sets of footprints at the cliff edge. Both sets approached together. Only one set walked away. Victoria's heart jumped. Then you know. You know he was there. You know I didn't just slip. It confirms you were both at the edge, but Mr. Ed Brennan claims he stepped back to take a photo. You stepped closer to pose. You lost your balance. That's not what happened. I'm not saying I don't believe you, Mrs. Brennan. I'm saying we need more evidence. A witness saw Mr. Brennan coming down the trail alone, hiking fast, checking his phone. Our witness said he seemed calm, not panicked, not like someone whose wife just fell off a cliff. Something flickered in Detective Bennett's eyes. Suspicion, doubt, not in Victoria, in Marcus. What happens now? Victoria asked. I'm reopening the investigation, looking into Mr. Brennan's finances, phone records, background, but I need to be honest with you. Without witnesses or physical evidence, prosecution will be difficult. It's your word against his. So he gets away with it. I didn't say that. I said it will be difficult. Not impossible. Detective Bennett stood, handed Victoria a card. My direct number. If you remember anything else, if anything happens, call me. She left. Amy and Victoria sat in silence. The machines beeped. Somewhere down the hall, someone moaned in pain. We need a plan, Amy said. I can barely move. I'll be in the hospital for weeks. Then rehab. He tried to kill me once. He'll try again. Not if we're careful. Not if we're smart. Amy squeezed her hand. You survived a 200-foot fall. You're stronger than you think. Victoria closed her eyes. Exhaustion pulled at her. But beneath the exhaustion, something else grew. Something hard. Something cold. Something that whispered, I deserve better than this. I deserve to be seen. The door opened hours later. Victoria had been drifting in and out of consciousness. Pain medication made everything soft and distant. Marcus entered. No flowers this time, no tears. The mask was gone. He checked the hallway, closed the door, moved close to the bed. You should have died, he whispered. You were supposed to die. Victoria's breath caught. There it was, the truth. Finally. Why? Her voice was barely audible. Because you're pathetic. Because you're an embarrassment. Because I'm done. Done with you. Done with this marriage. Done pretending. Divorce then. You don't have to kill me. Marcus laughed. Cold. Sharp. Divorce means splitting assets. Alimony. I'm not giving you half of everything I built. Not after you sat on your ass for 10 years eating yourself into oblivion. So you'd rather murder me? It was supposed to look like an accident, a tragic fall, the grieving widower, the life insurance payout, clean, simple. But you had to survive. You had to ruin even this. Victoria stared at him, this stranger, this monster wearing her husband's face. The police are investigating, she said. Let them investigate. They'll find nothing, no evidence, no proof, just the paranoid accusations of a brain-damaged woman. He leaned closer. And if you keep talking, if you keep making accusations, I'll have you declared mentally incompetent. Committed. You'll spend the rest of your life in a facility. Is that what you want? He straightened, smiled. Get some rest, honey. You need your strength. He left. The door closed. Victoria lay in the darkness. The machines beeped their steady rhythm. Her body throbbed. Her mind raced. Patrick appeared at 2 in the morning. She was crying, silently, tears streaming down her face. Mrs. Brennan? He checked her vitals, saw the tears. Pain? Everything hurts. I can give you more medication. No, I need to stay awake. I need to think. Patrick pulled up a chair, sat down. Want to talk about it? You wouldn't believe me. Try me. I've been a nurse for 12 years. I've heard everything. Victoria looked at him. Kind eyes, patient expression. She made a decision. My husband tried to kill me. Patrick didn't flinch, didn't dismiss her, just nodded slowly. Tell me everything. So she did, and he listened, and he believed. I can't prove anything, she said when she finished. Not yet, but you're alive. That's what matters. You're alive and he failed. Now you get stronger. You heal. You fight back. I don't know how. One day at a time, 1 hour, 1 minute, whatever it takes. He adjusted her pillows, made her comfortable. I'm here all night. If you need anything, if you're scared, just press the button. Thank you. Patrick paused at the door. For what it's worth, I believe you, and I think you're going to be okay. After he left, Victoria lay in the dark. She checked her phone. The phone Amy had smuggled in. 3 times, lock, unlock, lock, unlock, lock. The old habit, the old desperation, waiting for Marcus to notice her, to see her, to love her. She stopped, put the phone down. She was done waiting for Marcus to see her. She was going to make the whole world see him, see what he really was, see what he tried to do. Somewhere along the way, I became invisible. But I'm making myself seen again. The words were a promise to herself, to the woman she used to be, to the woman she was going to become. The police found something interesting at the top of that cliff. Detective Bennett returned on day 7. Victoria was sitting up. A small victory. Everything hurt. But she could sit up. Mrs. Brennan, I have some questions. Amy was there. She had been there every day, taking leave from work, sleeping in the uncomfortable chair, standing guard. Go ahead, Victoria said. Detective Bennett opened her folder, pulled out photographs, crime scene photos, the cliff, the edge, the trail. These are the footprints I mentioned, 2 sets approaching. But look here, she pointed. The spacing. Your husband's prints show normal stride, consistent with walking. Your prints show hesitation, small steps, drag marks. What does that mean? It means you were reluctant, uncertain, not rushing toward the edge to pose. Your husband claims you were excited, happy. These prints tell a different story. Hope flickered in Victoria's chest. Evidence, real evidence. There's more, Detective Bennett continued. We found witness testimony from a hiker who passed your husband on the trail. Approximately 15 minutes after the incident, he was coming down, moving fast, checking his phone. The witness said he seemed pleased, smiling. He was checking to see if I was dead, Victoria said. That's one interpretation. But here's what's interesting. We subpoenaed his phone records. In the hour before your fall, he received 6 text messages from the same number. A woman named Sienna Walsh. The name hit like a fist. Sienna Walsh. She knew that name. One of Marcus's vice presidents. Young, beautiful, always at company events, always near Marcus. Who is she? Amy asked. Senior VP at your husband's company, 29 years old, unmarried, been with the company 3 years. 3 years, Naz. Victoria's mind raced back. 3 years ago, when Marcus started working late, started going to the gym, started caring about his appearance again. Are they having an affair? Victoria asked. I can't confirm that yet, but the text messages are intimate, familiar. And get this, 6 months ago, your husband increased your life insurance policy, doubled it from $500,000 to $1 million. The room tilted. $1 million. Her life was worth $1 million to him, or rather, her death was. He never told me, Victoria whispered. Did he need your signature? I sign whatever he gives me, tax documents, insurance papers. I trusted him. Her grammar corrected itself, past tense. Trust was gone. There's one more thing, Detective Bennett said. We found financial irregularities in his company accounts. Possible embezzlement. The board doesn't know yet, but if it comes out, Marcus Brennan would need money. Fast. A lot of money. The pieces clicked together. Affair, life insurance, embezzlement, murder for profit and freedom. Can you arrest him? Amy demanded. Not yet. Everything I have is circumstantial, suspicious but not conclusive. I need more, a confession, physical evidence, something concrete. What about my testimony? Victoria asked. It helps, but a good defense attorney will tear it apart. Head injury, medications, grief, trauma. They'll say you're confused, mistaken. Your brain created a false memory to make sense of the accident. So he just walks free. I didn't say that. I said I need more evidence, which is why I need you to be careful. Don't confront him. Don't accuse him publicly. Let him think he got away with it. People who think they're safe make mistakes. Detective Bennett gathered her photographs. I'll be in touch. And Mrs. Brennan, watch your back. If he tried once, he'll try again, Victoria finished. I know. After the detective left, Amy paced the hospital room. This is insane. He tried to murder you for insurance money and his mistress. And the cops can't do anything? Not without proof. Then we get proof. We investigate. We find evidence. How? I can barely move. I can move. I'll start with this Sienna Walsh. Find out who she is, what she knows. Maybe she'll talk. Or maybe she's in on it, Victoria said. Maybe she knew. Maybe she helped plan it. The thought made her sick. Another woman, younger, thinner, everything Victoria wasn't. Helping Marcus, waiting for Victoria to tie so she could take her place. The door opened. Nurse Patrick entered with medications and a breakfast tray. How are we feeling today? He asked. Like I got pushed off a cliff, Victoria said. Patrick smiled. At least your sense of humor survived. That's important. You're going to need it. He set down the tray. Scrambled eggs, toast, orange juice, hospital food. Tasteless and necessary. The doctors want to start physical therapy tomorrow, Patrick said. Get you moving. Build strength back. I don't think I can. You can, you will. No choice, really. The alternative is lying here forever. And I don't think that's your style. He checked her chart, adjusted her IV. For what it's worth, Detective Bennett seems sharp. If there's evidence, she'll find it. You know about the investigation? I have ears, and I pay attention. Patrick lowered his voice. Your husband visits every afternoon, always brings flowers, always stays exactly 20 minutes, always checks his phone at least a dozen times. That's not how worried spouses behave. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for surviving. Makes my job easier. He left. Victoria picked at her breakfast. Everything tasted like cardboard. Or maybe her taste buds were broken, along with everything else. Amy sat down. Tell me about the cliff, everything you remember, every detail. Victoria closed her eyes. Went back to that moment. Flashback, the cliff. She had been thinking about weight. Again, always about weight. Her clothes didn't fit. Nothing fit. She had tried on 6 different outfits that morning. Everything too tight, everything unflattering, everything highlighting how far she'd fallen. From 130 pounds to 230. 100 pounds of shame. 100 pounds of invisibility. I should lose weight, she had said into the car. Marcus hadn't responded, eyes on the road, mind somewhere else. Maybe we could work out together, she tried again, like we used to. Sure. That word, sure, it meant no. It meant he wasn't listening. It meant she didn't matter. At the cliff, she had wanted to say more, to fight, to demand he pay attention. But the words stuck in her throat. They always stuck. When had she become so small, so quiet, so willing to disappear? Standing at the closet that morning, pulling out bigger and bigger sizes, remembering when she wore a size 4, when Marcus looked at her like she was beautiful, when she existed. Now she wore a size 18, sometimes 20, and Marcus didn't look at all. The panic cleaning had started 3 years ago. Whenever he came home, she cleaned. Obsessively, the house had to be perfect. Dinner had to be perfect. She had to at least try to be perfect. But it was never enough. She remembered the night she pretended to be asleep. He came home at midnight, smelling of perfume, a scent she didn't wear. She had lain there, eyes closed, breathing steady, while he undressed and slipped into bed. A stranger next to her, cold, distant, gone. Victoria opened her eyes. I kept ignoring the signs, the late nights, the phone calls, the distance. I knew. Some part of me knew, but I let myself not know. Because knowing meant facing it, and facing it meant, what? Divorce? Being alone? Starting over at 42 and 230 pounds? Starting over sounds better than being murdered, Amy said dryly. I know that now. The door burst open. Judith Brennan swept in. Marcus's mother, 68 years old, perfectly coiffed gray hair, designer suit, cold eyes, colder heart. Victoria, finally awake. We've all been so worried. The royal we, Judith spoke for the family, the Brennan family. Old money, new money, all money. Victoria had married into it, but she had never belonged. Hello, Judith. I won't stay long. I know you need rest. But I wanted to say, these accusations, these terrible things you're saying about Marcus, they need to stop. Amy stood. Excuse me? You heard me? Victoria had a terrible accident. Trauma, head injury, but dragging my son's name through the mud with wild conspiracy theories is unacceptable. Conspiracy theories? Amy's voice went sharp. Marcus tried to kill her. Don't be ridiculous. Marcus is devastated. He's beside himself with worry. And Victoria is repaying him with paranoid delusions. Get out, Victoria said quietly. Judith blinked. What? Get out of my room. Get out of my sight. Your son pushed me off a cliff, and you care more about his reputation than my life. So get out. How dare you? Get out. Judith's face went red. She drew herself up. You're embarrassing this family. When you come to your senses, you'll realize that. But until then, don't expect any support from us. She left in a whirl of expensive perfume and righteous indignation. Amy let out a long breath. Well, that was something. His family will protect him. They always do. Money protects money. Power protects power. Then we fight harder. We find proof they can't ignore. Victoria looked at her friend, loyal, fierce, everything she needed. I don't deserve you. Shut up. Yes, you do. You deserve so much better than all of this. Later, when Amy left to get coffee, Victoria lay alone. The afternoon light slanted through the blinds. Shadows grew long. She thought about her marriage. When did it die? Not at the cliff. The cliff was just the murder of an already rotting corpse. Their wedding day. She had been 20. He had been 23. So young, so in love, so sure. The first pregnancy. Hope, joy, planning nurseries, picking names, then the miscarriage. At 12 weeks, the grief, the hollow emptiness. Marcus had held her, cried with her. We'll try again, he promised. They did try. The second pregnancy, more cautious this time. Less joy, more fear. 14 weeks, another miscarriage. More grief, more emptiness. But this time Marcus didn't cry. He was frustrated, disappointed. In her broken body. After that, he threw himself into work, built his company, became CEO, successful, powerful. Everything he touched turned to gold, except her. She was the failure, the broken thing. She ate her grief, packed it into her body, pounds and pounds of pain, until she was buried under it. And he had stopped seeing her, stopped touching her, stopped pretending. The hardest part is admitting I knew all along. The validation whisper came naturally, true, painful, necessary. She had known. Maybe not about Sienna specifically, but about the death of love, about the contempt in his eyes, about the way he recoiled when she touched him. She had known she was invisible, and she had let it happen, accepted it, believed she deserved it. But she didn't deserve this, didn't deserve to be murdered, to be erased, to disappear completely. The doctors came in the evening, talked about her injuries, recovery timeline, physical therapy, months of work, possibly a year. She might walk again, might not, might limp forever, might need a cane. You're lucky to be alive, the doctor said. Lucky, that word again. She was lucky. Lucky to have a husband who failed at murder. Lucky to be broken and trapped and helpless. Lucky. That night she dreamed of flying, of stepping off the cliff and just floating. Weightless, free. But then she looked down and saw Marcus smiling, waiting for her to fall. She woke gasping, sweat-soaked, terrified. Patrick was there immediately. Nightmare? Memory. He adjusted her pillows, got her stayed until her breathing steadied. Tell me something, Victoria said. Do you think I'll ever walk normally again? Patrick hesitated. Honestly? Honestly. Your injuries are severe. Best case scenario, you walk with a limp, chronic pain, probable. Worst case, wheelchair, permanent disability. So he won. Even if I survived, he destroyed my life. He destroyed this version of your life, but you're still here, still breathing, still fighting. That's not losing, that's surviving. I don't feel like a survivor. I feel like a victim. You're both, right now. But every day you choose to keep going, every day you fight to heal, you become more survivor and less victim. Eventually, the survivor wins. Patrick left. Victoria lay in the dark. She had a choice. Lie here, accept this. Let Marcus win or fight. She didn't know how to fight. Not anymore. She had been surrendering for so long, shrinking, apologizing, disappearing. But maybe she could learn. Maybe she could remember who she was before. Before Marcus, before the weight, before the invisible years. Somewhere along the way, I became invisible. But I'm making myself seen again. She whispered it into the darkness. A promise, a prayer, a threat. Marcus wanted her dead, but she was alive. And now she knew the truth. Knew what he was, what he'd done. Knowledge was power. Maybe not enough power, not yet. But it was a start. Tomorrow, physical therapy. Tomorrow, learning to move again. Tomorrow, the first step toward becoming someone Marcus underestimated. Someone he didn't see coming. Someone who would make him pay. Sienna Walsh visited me in the hospital. It was day 12. Victoria had just finished her first physical therapy session. Torture, pure torture. They had made her stand, just stand. Her legs screamed, her back spasmed. She had lasted 45 seconds before collapsing. Good work, the therapist had said. Tomorrow we'll try for a minute. Now Victoria lay in bed. Every muscle throbbed. She had taken pain medication, strong pain medication. The world felt soft and distant. The door opened. A woman entered. 29 years old, blonde hair, perfect skin, slim, beautiful, everything Victoria used to be, everything she wasn't anymore. Mrs. Brennan, I'm Sienna Walsh. I work with Marcus. I heard about your accident. I needed to see you. Victoria stared, the mistress, the other woman, the reason Marcus wanted her dead. Get out. Please, just give me 5 minutes. I need to talk to you. I said get out. Sienna didn't move. She stood there, twisting her hands. She looked guilty, uncomfortable, real. Please, Sienna whispered, I need to apologize. Victoria's anger warred with curiosity. Curiosity won. 5 minutes, then leave. Sienna approached the bed, cautiously, like approaching a wounded animal. She pulled up a chair, sat down, took a deep breath. I've been having an affair with your husband for 3 years. I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly sorry. The words should have hurt, but Victoria had known, suspected. Now confirmation just felt empty, inevitable. Does Marcus know you're here? Victoria asked. God, no. He'd kill me if he knew. He doesn't want me anywhere near you. Why are you here then? Because I feel terrible. Because what happened to you is, I think it might be my fault. Victoria's attention sharpened. The medication fog cleared. What do you mean? Sienna's eyes filled with tears, real tears, messy and uncontrolled. He said, Marcus said he was going to leave you, that you two were separated, that the marriage was over. He promised. Once you lost the weight, once you got healthy, he'd file for divorce. Then we could be together. Each word was a knife. Clean, precise, devastating. I never lost the weight, Victoria said flatly. No, you didn't. And Marcus got frustrated, impatient. He said you'd given up on yourself, on the marriage, on everything. He said it wasn't fair to him to be trapped with someone who didn't care anymore. He said you'd given up on yourself. The mirror technique moment hit hard because it was true. She had given up, stopped trying, stopped fighting, accepted her invisibility. So he decided to kill me instead, Victoria said. Sienna's face went white. What? He pushed me off that cliff. It wasn't an accident. It was attempted murder for the life insurance money. And for you, no, no, that's insane. Marcus wouldn't. Marcus did. I was there. I felt his hands. I saw his face. He pushed me. Then he stood there and watched me fall. Sienna shook her head. Denial. Desperation. You're wrong. You have to be wrong. The head injury, the medications. You're confused. I'm not confused. And deep down, you know I'm not. Because he told you something. Didn't he? Something that made you come here. Sienna was crying now, mascara running, perfect facade cracking. The day before your accident, he texted me, said everything was going to change, said he had a plan, said to be patient. One more day. One more day until I was dead. I thought he meant divorce papers. I thought he finally worked up the courage to leave. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Victoria believed her, mostly. Sienna was many things. Mistress, homewrecker, selfish. But she wasn't a murderer. And she was realizing right now that she'd been sleeping with one. What did he tell you after? Victoria asked. After I fell. He called me that night. Crying, said you'd had a terrible accident. Said you might not survive. He sounded devastated. I thought he loved you. Despite everything, I thought he still cared. He was checking if I was dead yet. Sienna put her face in her hands. Oh God, what have I done? You slept with a married man. You believed his lies. You let him use you, but you didn't push me off a cliff. That was all Marcus. What do? I have to go to the police. I have to tell them. Tell them what? That you had an affair? They already know. That Marcus texted you cryptic messages? That's not proof. That's barely evidence. There has to be something. Something I can do. Victoria studied her. This broken woman. This other woman. Enemy and potential ally. How long did he say he'd leave me? Victoria asked. How long was he stringing you along? 3 years. He always had an excuse. The company was at a crucial stage. The timing wasn't right. You were too fragile. He needed to wait. He was never going to leave me. Divorce means splitting assets. Alimony, he'd lose half his fortune. But murder? Murder means he keeps everything, plus life insurance, plus you. Sienna wiped her eyes. I'm such an idiot. You're 29. You believed a powerful man when he said you were special. That's not idiocy. That's being human. Why are you being nice to me? I slept with your husband. Because right now I need information more than I need revenge. And because Marcus made both of us victims. Different ways, but victims. Sienna sat up straighter. What do you need to know? Everything. His schedule, his phone, his password, financial records. Does he talk to you about the company, about money problems? Sometimes he's stressed. Something about the board, an audit. He said he needed to move some money around, make some things disappear. Embezzlement, Victoria said. Detective Bennett mentioned irregularities. Marcus is stealing from his own company. And when the audit finds it, he's ruined. Unless he has money to replace what he stole. Unless his wife dies and he gets $1 million in life insurance. Sienna finished. Jesus Christ, I'm dating a monster. Dating implies future tense. You need to break up with him. I will. Today. Right now. No, don't. Sienna blinked. What? If you break up with him, he'll know something's wrong. He'll be suspicious. He might try something. Finish what he started with me, or hurt you, or run. So what do? You stay with him. You act normal. You gather evidence. You help me prove what he did. You want me to spy on my boyfriend, who's actually a murderer? Are you insane? Probably, but I'm also right. You want to make this right? This is how. Help me get justice. Sienna stared at her, processing, deciding. If he finds out, he won't. You're a good actress. You've been acting for 3 years, playing the understanding mistress, the patient girlfriend. Keep playing. And what do I get out of this, besides potentially getting murdered? The truth, justice, and maybe not being the woman who helped a killer go free. Sienna stood, paced, came back. Okay, I'll do it, but I need a way to contact you that Marcus can't see. Victoria gave her Amy's number. Text my friend, she'll coordinate. And Sienna, be careful, he's desperate. Desperate men do terrible things. I'm starting to realize that. Sienna left. Victoria lay back, exhausted. The pain medication was wearing off. Her body screamed, but her mind raced. An ally, an unexpected ally. Maybe. Amy returned an hour later. You will not believe what just happened. The mistress visited me. Amy's jaw dropped. What? Victoria explained. Everything. Sienna's confession, her guilt, the plan to gather evidence. Do you trust her? Amy asked. No, but I believe she's scared, and scared people tell the truth. Besides, what choice do we have? The police have nothing. We need more. What if she tells Marcus? Then I'm already dead. Might as well try it. Amy sat down. You're different. Since the cliff, harder, sharper. I'm done being soft. Soft gets you killed. The door opened. Marcus entered. Flowers, roses, red. The performance continued. Vicky, how are you feeling today? She smiled, the dutiful wife, the believing fool. Better. Physical therapy is hard, but I'm trying. That's my girl. You'll be back on your feet in no time. He kissed her forehead, set down the flowers. I brought your favorite books and some magazines. I know you get bored. Every gesture, every word calculated, practiced, false. Thank you, Victoria said. Marcus checked his phone, smiled at the screen, typed something. Work? Victoria asked. Always, the board is breathing down my neck. But don't worry, I'm handling it. Handling it? By stealing, by murdering, by lying. I'm sure you are. He stayed his customary 20 minutes, then left. Business to handle, people to see, mistress to text. Amy waited until he was gone. That was hard to watch. It was hard to do, pretending I don't know, pretending I still love him, pretending he's the victim too. But necessary. But necessary. That night, Victoria couldn't sleep. Pain, fear, anger, it all swirled together, poisonous, consuming. She thought about her body, 230 pounds. For years, she had hated it. This body that Marcus found repulsive. This body that couldn't carry a baby. This body that was never enough. But this body had survived. This body had hit rocks and trees and ground. This body had been broken and was healing. This body was strong, stronger than she knew. Maybe the weight wasn't just grief. Maybe it was armor, protection, a way to disappear before Marcus made her disappear permanently. But she didn't want to be invisible anymore. Didn't want to hide, didn't want to shrink. Physical therapy would help, would make her mobile. But it wouldn't make her thin, not quickly, not enough. Did that matter? Did she need to be thin to be seen, to be strong, to be worthy? No, she needed to be alive, needed to be smart, needed to be determined. The weight could come off or not. Right now, survival mattered more than size. Patrick came in at 3 a.m., found her awake, staring at the ceiling. Can't sleep? Can't stop thinking. About? Everything. The cliff, Marcus, the future. What happens if we can't prove anything? If he gets away with it? Patrick sat down. Then you disappear, change your name, move across the country, start over where he can't find you. Run away. Sarai, that's not running. That's being smart. I don't want to run. I want him to pay. I get that. But revenge is a luxury. Survival is a necessity. Choose wisely. He adjusted her medication. Try to rest. Tomorrow is another day of therapy, another day of getting stronger. After he left, Victoria lay in the dark. Patrick was right. Survival trumped revenge. But maybe she could have both. Marcus had taught her to be small, quiet, invisible. But she had been someone else once. Before him, before the weight, before the grief. She had been Victoria Collins, smart, funny, ambitious. She had wanted to be a teacher, to make a difference, to matter. Then she met Marcus Brennan. Charming, successful. He swept her away, married her, made her Victoria Brennan. And somewhere in becoming his wife, she lost Victoria Collins, lost herself, became a reflection, an accessory, a disappointment. But Victoria Collins was still in there, buried, waiting. Maybe the cliff had cracked open the armor. Let her out. She closed her eyes, whispered into the darkness. Starting over feels impossible, but staying in his shadow felt worse. The validation whisper. True. Powerful. Hers. Tomorrow, more therapy, more pain, more small steps toward mobility. Toward strength. Toward justice. Marcus thought he'd broken her, killed her, won. He was wrong. She was alive. She was awake. She was done being invisible. And she was coming for him. Physical therapy became my religion. Week 3. Victoria stood between parallel bars. Her legs shook. Her back screamed. Sweat poured down her face. The therapist, a woman named Jennifer, stood nearby, encouraging, relentless. 5 more steps. You can do it. Victoria gripped the bars, her knuckles white. She moved her left leg, good leg, then the right, the broken leg, metal rods and pins and prayers holding it together. Pain exploded, white hot, blinding. She gasped. Breathe through it. Don't stop. 4 more steps. 3, 2, 1. Victoria collapsed onto the waiting wheelchair. Jennifer handed her water. Good work. 2 weeks ago you couldn't stand. Now you're walking. 5 steps isn't walking. It's 5 more steps than 0. Progress. That's all we're aiming for. Progress. Progress. The word tasted bitter, but Jennifer was right. Small victories. 5 steps today, 6 tomorrow. Eventually enough steps to walk out of this place. Amy wheeled her back to her room. Marcus was fighting the insurance company. Rehab was expensive. He claimed they couldn't afford it, claimed Victoria needed to come home, where he could take care of her, where he could finish what he started. Detective Bennett had intervened, convinced a judge to order Marcus to pay, spousal support, medical necessity. Marcus had been furious, but legally trapped. Any news from Sienna? Victoria asked. Amy checked her phone. She sent files last night, financial documents, emails, Marcus's calendar. She copied everything she could access. And Trevor is going through it, looking for evidence of embezzlement, proof of motive. Trevor Hayes, the lawyer, 50 years old, sharp, determined. He had taken Victoria's case pro bono after reading about it. I hate cheating husbands, he'd said. An attempted murder is the ultimate cheat. Victoria's room felt smaller every day. The walls closed in. She had been here 4 weeks. Doctors said minimum 6 more, maybe 8, before she could leave, before she could function independently. 8 weeks, 2 months. Marcus had 2 months to find another way, another accident, another murder attempt. I need to get out of here, Victoria said. You need to heal. I need to not be a sitting duck. Amy's phone buzzed. She checked it. Her face went pale. What? Victoria asked. It's from Sienna. Marcus is talking about visiting you tonight. Late. After visiting hours. He told her he needs to check on his wife privately. Victoria's blood went cold. He's going to try again. We don't know that. Yes, we do. He's desperate. The audit is in 3 weeks. He needs me gone. And I'm trapped here. Helpless. Perfect target. Amy stood. I'm calling Detective Bennett. And say what? My husband wants to visit me? That's not a crime. Then I'm staying. All night. He won't try anything with the witness. He might wait. Come back another night. When you're not here. When no one's watching. The trap was obvious. Stay in the hospital, vulnerable, or leave too early, more vulnerable. Either way, Marcus could finish the job. Patrick entered for evening rounds. He saw their faces. What happened? Amy explained. Patrick listened. His expression darkened. I'll talk to security. Make sure they check IDs after visiting hours. No one gets in without authorization. Marcus is my husband. He's authorized. Let me handle it. Hospital policy, safety protocols. I'll make it work. Patrick left. Victoria and Amy sat in tense silence, waiting, watching the clock. Visiting hours ended at 8 p.m. Would Marcus come? 8 o'clock passed, 9, 10. Victoria tried to stay awake. Fear and exhaustion warred. Exhaustion won. She drifted off. A sound woke her. The door opening. Footsteps. She opened her eyes. The room was dark. A figure stood silhouetted in the doorway. Victoria! Marcus's voice, soft, dangerous. Amy was gone. She had left around 11. Needed sleep. Work in the morning. She'd be back tomorrow. Tomorrow might be too late. Marcus approached the bed. Victoria's heart pounded. She looked for the calls button. It was on the table. Too far. She couldn't reach it without him noticing. I needed to see you, Marcus said. We need to talk. About what? About the police. About your accusations. About this fantasy you've created where I'm some kind of monster. He sat down in the visitor chair. Calm, controlled, terrifying. The detective came to my office, asked about life insurance, about Sienna, about our marriage. Do you know how humiliating that was? You tried to kill me. I tried to save you. You were falling. I reached for you. I failed. And now you've twisted that into some murder conspiracy. There were footprints, evidence, witnesses. There's your brain damage, your paranoia, your desperate need to blame someone for your own clumsiness. He leaned forward. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to stop talking to the police. Stop filling your friend's head with insane theories. Come home. We'll work through this, get you help, therapy, medication, whatever you need. I'm not coming home with you. You don't have a choice. I'm your husband, your legal guardian while you're incapacitated. The doctors will release you to my care. I'll refuse. Then I'll have you declared incompetent, committed. You'll spend the rest of your life in a facility. Is that what you want? The threat hung in the air. Real, legal, possible. You can't do that, Victoria whispered. I'm Marcus Brennan, CEO, millionaire, respected businessman. You're an obese, brain-damaged woman making wild accusations. Who do you think people will believe? He stood. Think about it. Come home quietly, or I'll make your life hell. Your choice. He left. The door closed. Victoria lay in the darkness, shaking, terrified. He had shown his hand. He was going to have her committed. Lock her away, where she couldn't talk, couldn't testify, couldn't fight. She grabbed her phone, called Amy. Voicemail, called Detective Bennett. Voicemail, called Trevor. Voicemail. 3 a.m., everyone asleep, except her, alone with her fear. The door opened again. She flinched, but it was Patrick. Saw your light on. Everything okay? Marcus was here. Patrick's expression hardened. I told security. How did he get past? He's my husband. He talked his way in. Victoria told him everything. The threats, the commitment, the trap. Patrick sat down. He can't commit you without cause, and plenty of doctors willing to say you're competent. He has money, influence. He'll find doctors who'll say whatever he wants. Then we need to move you somewhere safe, somewhere he can't access. Where? I can barely walk. I have no money, no way to support myself. We'll figure it out, but first you need to heal, get strong enough to leave. Then we worry about where. Patrick adjusted her medications, made her comfortable. I'll talk to the doctors tomorrow, see if we can expedite your discharge. Get you to a rehab facility instead of home, someplace with better security. Thank you. Thank me by surviving. That's all I ask. After he left, Victoria lay awake, thinking, planning. Marcus had made a mistake. He'd threatened her, showed his desperation, revealed his plan. Knowledge was power. Maybe. She thought about the past, the woman she'd been, before Marcus, before the loss, before the wait. Flashback, 20 years ago. Victoria Collins, 20 years old, junior at UCLA, teaching major. She wanted to work with kids, make a difference, be someone who mattered. The party where she met Marcus, sorority mixer. She'd almost not gone. Too much studying, too many papers. But her roommate insisted. Marcus had been 23, graduate student in business, confident, charming. He'd walked across the room, introduced himself, asked about her major. Teaching, he'd said. That's admirable. I'm going to run a company someday, make millions. But teachers? Teachers change lives. He'd made her feel special, valued, important. They dated. 6 months of intensity, flowers, dinners, attention. He was everything she'd dreamed of. Successful, driven, and he wanted her. The proposal came on graduation day. Romantic, public. She said yes. Of course she said yes. The wedding was beautiful. Small. His family looked down on her. Middle-class background, teacher's salary, not good enough for a Brennan. But Marcus hadn't cared, or so she thought. "You're mine," he'd said. "That's all that matters." The first year was happy. She taught third grade. He worked at his father's company. They had a tiny apartment. Not much money, but they were together. Then the first pregnancy. Unplanned but welcome. They started dreaming. Baby names, nursery colors, their future. 12 weeks. Miscarriage. Sudden, painful, devastating. The doctor said these things happen. Try again. But Victoria felt like a failure. Her body had failed. She had failed. Marcus had been supportive. At first, held her. Let her cry. "We'll try again," he promised. The second pregnancy came a year later. More careful, more hope, more fear. 14 weeks, another miscarriage. More grief, more failure. This time Marcus pulled away, frustration in his eyes. "Maybe we're not meant to have kids," he'd said. She'd quit teaching. Depression, grief, she couldn't be around children anymore. Couldn't watch her students and not think about the babies she'd lost. She stayed home, ate her grief, pound by pound. Marcus threw himself into work, rarely home, building his empire, away from his failing wife. The distance grew, the weight grew, the love died. Victoria opened her eyes, tears on her cheeks. She wiped them away. That was when she'd lost herself. Not all at once, gradually, year by year, bite by bite, disappearing into sadness and shame and food. Marcus had watched her disappear, had helped her disappear, had encouraged it, because an invisible wife was convenient, easy to ignore, easy to cheat on, easy to replace, easy to kill. But she wasn't that woman anymore. The cliff had changed her. Pain had changed her. Nearly dying had changed her. She was done disappearing, done being invisible, done letting Marcus control her narrative. Tomorrow, more therapy, more steps, more progress. However slow, however painful. She would get strong, she would get mobile, she would get free, and then she would get even. Somewhere along the way, I became invisible, but I'm making myself seen again. The words were stronger now, more certain, not just hope, a promise. Marcus thought he'd broken her, but broken things can be reforged, stronger, sharper, deadlier. She would survive this, and he would pay. 6 months post-Cliff, I walked out of rehab on my own 2 feet. Not perfect walking. Victoria limped. Her right leg dragged slightly. Pain shot through her with every step. But she was walking, on her own, without bars, without support. Just her. Just movement. Just progress. The weight had fallen off, not intentionally, not through vanity, but through healing, through pain, through the brutal work of physical therapy. 80 pounds gone, not through diet, through survival. 230 pounds to 150. Still not thin, still not the woman she'd been at 20, but strong, alive, different. Dr. Foster, her therapist, stood in the hospital parking lot. 6 months of weekly sessions, unpacking the marriage, the self-worth, the years of invisibility. "How do you feel?" Dr. Foster asked. "Terrified." "Good. Fear means you're alive, means you're aware of the stakes." "Marcus wants me to come home. His lawyer is pushing hard." "You don't have to go. You're legally competent. You can make your own choices." "He'll cut off money. I have nothing. No J, no savings. Everything is in his name." "Trevor is filing for spousal support. Emergency funds. Marcus will have to pay." "And in the meantime, you stay with Amy. We've discussed this." They had discussed it, planned it. Amy had a spare room, small but safe, away from Marcus, away from the cliff, away from the danger. Amy pulled up in her car, smiled through the window. Victoria grabbed her bag, opening her. Everything she owned fit in one duffel bag. How had her life become so small? Ready? Dr. Foster asked. No, but I'm doing it anyway. She hugged her therapist, got in Amy's car. They drove away from the hospital, the rehab center, the place where she'd spent 6 months rebuilding. How does freedom feel? Amy asked. Like the opposite of safety. We'll keep you safe. Trevor has a plan. Detective Bennett is still investigating. Sienna is still gathering evidence. You're not alone. Victoria looked out the window. Houses blurred past. Normal lives, normal people. She'd never be normal again. The cliff had seen to that. But maybe normal was overrated. Amy's apartment was small, second floor, narrow stairs. Victoria took them slowly, one at a time, gripping the railing. Her legs screamed, but she made it. Progress. The spare room had a bed, a dresser, a window overlooking the street. Simple, clean, safe. I'll give you space to settle in, Amy said. Dinner in an hour? Thank you for everything. Stop thanking me. That's what friends do. After Amy left, Victoria sat on the bed. 6 months, half a year since the cliff, since Marcus pushed her, since her life exploded. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Victoria, it's Sienna. You shouldn't call me directly. Marcus might check your phone. I don't care anymore. I need to tell you something. Marcus is planning something for tonight. He knows you left the hospital. He's furious. He was talking to someone on the phone. I only heard his side, but he said, she can't hide forever. I'll find her. I'll finish this. Ice flooded Victoria's veins. Did he say how? When? No, just that he's done waiting. Done playing nice. You need to be careful. I will. Thank you for warning me. Victoria, I'm sorry for everything. I should have known, should have seen what he was. You see it now. That's what matters. After they hung up, Victoria called Detective Bennett, got voicemail, left a message, called Trevor. Same thing. Voicemail. She looked at the time. 6 p.m., everyone off work, living their lives while she sat here, Target, waiting. She called Amy. Marcus knows I left the hospital. Sienna says he's planning something. Amy came into the room. We should call the police. And say what? My husband made a vague threat? They can't do anything without a specific crime. Then we don't answer the door. Don't go out. Stay inside. Safe. Victoria looked around the small room. This was her life now, hiding, waiting, afraid. No, she was done hiding. Amy, your company is having that charity gala tonight, right? Yes, at the Fairmont. Why? Marcus's company sponsors it. He'll be there. Okay? I'm going. Amy stared at her. You're joking. Do I look like I'm joking? He wants to finish this? Let him try. In public, in front of witnesses, in front of everyone who thinks I'm crazy. That's insane. You can barely walk. You've been out of rehab for 3 hours. You're not ready for this. I'll never be ready, but I'm done being invisible. Done hiding. He's going to see me. They're all going to see me. Amy opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. You're serious. Completely. Then I guess we're going shopping. The mall was overwhelming. Too many people. Too much noise. Victoria's leg ached after 20 minutes, but she pushed through. They found a dress. Black, simple, elegant, size 12. Victoria stared at the tag. 6 months ago, she'd been a size 20. Now size 12. In the dressing room, she faced the mirror. The woman looking back was a stranger. Thinner, yes, but that wasn't what made her different. The eyes, hard, determined, unflinching. This woman had survived. This woman wasn't going to disappear. The dress fit. Amy bought shoes, low heels. Victoria couldn't handle high heels, not with her leg, but even low heels felt powerful. Adult. Ready. They drove back to Amy's apartment. Victoria sat in the car, door open, unable to move. Terror gripped her. She was going to walk into Marcus's world, the world where everyone believed his lies, where she was the crazy wife, the accident victim, the embarrassment. She sat there, 5 minutes, 10, unable to get out, unable to go forward. Mirror technique moment. Sitting in the parked car, door open, unable to go inside. Just like she used to sit outside the house. Afraid to face Marcus, afraid to exist, but not anymore. Victoria took a deep breath, stepped out of the car. He took enough, not taking this. Amy smiled. That's my girl. They got ready, hair, makeup, the dress, the shoes. Victoria looked in the mirror. The transformation wasn't physical. Not really, it was internal. Visible in her eyes, in her stance, in the way she held her head. You look beautiful, Amy said. I look dangerous. Even better. The Fairmont was downtown, glittering, expensive. Victoria had been here before. Company events, charity galas, always as Marcus's wife, always invisible, always apologizing for existing. Not tonight. They arrived at 8, fashionably late. The ballroom was packed. Donors, executives, society people, everyone who mattered. Marcus would be here, probably with Sienna, playing the devoted couple, the future, while his inconvenient wife rotted away somewhere. Except she wasn't rotting. She was here, and she was done being convenient. Victoria and Amy entered the ballroom. Heads turned, people stared, whispers rippled through the crowd. Is that Victoria Brennan? I thought she was in a wheelchair. She lost so much weight. She looks different. Victoria walked through the crowd, limping, determined, ignoring the stares, ignoring the whispers, looking for one person. She found him. Marcus stood near the bar, expensive suit, perfect hair, confident smile. Sienna beside him, beautiful, young, everything Victoria wasn't. Their eyes met across the room. Marcus's face went white. The glass in his hand shook. Sienna followed his gaze, saw Victoria. Her expression crumpled. Victoria walked toward them. The crowd parted, creating a path, a stage. Everyone watching, everyone waiting. She stopped 3 feet away. Hello, Marcus. He recovered quickly, the mask sliding into place. Vicky, I didn't know you were coming. You look well. I am well. 6 months of physical therapy. Doctors said I might never walk again. They were wrong. That's wonderful. I'm so glad you've recovered from your accident. Victoria smiled, cold, sharp. You mean murder attempt? The words dropped like bombs. The crowd gasped. Sienna stepped back. Marcus's face went hard. Vicky, you're confused. The medication, the head injury, we've discussed this. We have. You threatened to have me committed if I didn't stop telling the truth, but I'm done being quiet, done disappearing, done letting you control the narrative. You're making a scene. Good. Let everyone see. Let everyone hear. You pushed me off that cliff. You tried to kill me for life insurance money and your mistress, and you're not going to get away with it. Marcus grabbed her arm. Tight, painful. You need to leave. Now, before you embarrass yourself further. Victoria looked down at his hand, then back at his face. Let go of me. Come home. We'll talk. Get you help. Help? You mean more threats? More gaslighting? More attempts on my life? Someone in the crowd pulled out a phone, started recording. Marcus saw it, realized the performance was being documented, broadcast, made permanent. He released her arm, stepped back. You're sick. I tried to help you, but you're beyond help. I'm beyond your reach. That's what scares you. Victoria turned to the crowd. All those watching faces, all those witnesses. 6 months ago, my husband pushed me off a cliff. I survived. Barely. The police are investigating, but powerful men know how to hide evidence, how to threaten victims into silence. Not anymore. I'm not silent, and I'm not going away. She turned back to Marcus. See you in court. She walked away, limping, triumphant. Amy beside her. The crowd parted again. Some people applauded, others stared. Everyone would talk. Outside, Victoria collapsed against the building, shaking, crying. Amy held her. You were amazing, Amy said. I was terrified. You did it anyway. That's what amazing is. They drove home. Victoria's phone exploded. Texts, calls, The video from the gala was already online, going viral. Her accusation, Marcus's face, the truth finally public. Trevor called. I saw the video. Bold move, risky, but effective. Public opinion is shifting. People are asking questions. This helps. Detective Bennett called. Same thing you told the crowd. I need you to tell me. Officially, on record. Can you come to the station tomorrow? Yes. Good. And Mrs. Brennan? That took guts. Real guts. I'm impressed. After everyone called, after the adrenaline faded, Victoria lay in bed. Exhausted, terrified, exhilarated. She had done it. Faced him. Accused him publicly. Taken back her voice. Her story, her life. The breathing room came naturally now. She didn't need to reorganize anything. Didn't need to control small things. She'd controlled the big thing. Herself, her fear, her silence. Starting over feels impossible, but staying in his shadow felt worse. The validation whisper was complete. True. Lived. She had started over tonight, in front of everyone, and it had been terrifying and liberating and necessary. Marcus would retaliate. She knew that. He was desperate, exposed, dangerous. But she wasn't alone anymore. Wasn't invisible. Wasn't silent. Let him come. Let him try. She would be ready. Tomorrow the police station. Official statement, building the case one step closer to justice. Tonight she had reclaimed herself, and that was worth everything. Sienna Walsh called me. She wanted to meet. Day 7 after the gala, the video had 5 million views. News outlets picked it up. Local first, then national. Woman accuses CEO husband of attempted murder at charity gala. Marcus's company was in crisis mode. The board demanded answers. Donors pulled funding. Everything unraveled. And Sienna was done pretending. They met at a coffee shop. Neutral ground, public, safe. Sienna looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes. No makeup. Hands shaking around her coffee cup. He's losing it, Sienna said without preamble. Marcus, he's completely unhinged, screaming at people, throwing things. He knows the walls are closing in. Good, Victoria said. No, not good. He's dangerous when he's cornered. He came to my apartment last night, drunk, raging, said I betrayed him, said you poisoned me against him. He grabbed me, shook me, said if I testified against him, he'd destroy me. Sienna pulled down her collar. Bruises, finger-shaped, purple, ugly. Victoria's stomach turned. Did you call the police? And say what? My married boyfriend who's being investigated for attempted murder grabbed me? I'm the mistress, the homewrecker. No one will believe me. I believe you, and Detective Bennett will too. It doesn't matter. He's done. The audit finished yesterday. They found everything. $3 million missing. Embezzled over 5 years. The board fired him this morning. Froze his accounts. He has nothing, and he's blaming you. Me, I didn't steal from his company. No, but you survived. If you died, the insurance would have covered what he stole. He could have replaced the money, avoided prosecution. But you lived, and now he's facing 20 years in prison for embezzlement alone. Victoria's mind raced. Marcus was cornered, desperate, violent, and he blamed her. I need everything, Victoria said. Every email, every document, every text, anything that proves he planned to kill me. Sienna pulled out a USB drive. It's all here. Financial records, life insurance documents, emails to me about how you were in the way, how he needed you gone, text messages from the day of the cliff. He wrote, one way or another this ends today. I thought he meant divorce papers, but he meant murder. Yes, Sienna wiped her eyes. I helped him, not knowingly, but I gave him a reason, an excuse. I'm so sorry. You're helping now. That's what matters. They talked for 2 hours. Sienna revealed everything, the full timeline, the promises Marcus made, the lies he told, the way he manipulated her, used her, made her believe she was special when really she was just convenient. He did the same thing to me, Victoria said. Made me feel special, then made me feel worthless. That's his pattern. That's who he is. The ex-girlfriend, the one Detective Bennett mentioned. I found her, talked to her. She agreed to break her NDA. She'll testify. About what? About how Marcus pushed her down the stairs 3 years before he met you. She broke her back, nearly died. He paid her off, made her sign papers, but she kept copies of everything. Hospital records, his texts, his threats. Victoria leaned back. He's done this before. Yes, and he'll do it again. Unless we stop him. After they parted, Victoria called Detective Bennett, explained everything, arranged a meeting, handed over the USB drive, the testimony, the evidence. Detective Bennett went through it all. Her expression darkened with each page, each email, each text. This is it, she said finally. This is enough. Motive, planning, pattern of behavior. I can get an arrest warrant today. How long until trial? 6 months, maybe longer, but he'll be in custody. He can't hurt you from jail. His family has money. They'll bail him out. Not for attempted murder, they won't. And with the embezzlement charges, he's a flight risk. No judge will grant bail. Victoria felt something unfamiliar. Hope, real hope. Not just survival. Justice. That afternoon, Detective Bennett called. We arrested Marcus Brennan at 4 p.m. Charged with attempted murder, embezzlement, fraud, and assault. He's being held without bail. Preliminary hearing next week. It's really over? The danger is over. Now comes the hard part. Trial, testimony, reliving everything. Are you ready for that? No, but I'll do it anyway. That night, Victoria and Amy celebrated quietly. Pizza, wine, tears, relief. You did it, Amy said. You got him. You got him. You, me, Sienna, Patrick, Trevor, Detective Bennett, all of us. But you survived. That was the hard part. Staying alive long enough to see justice. Victoria thought about the cliff, the fall, the impact, the months of pain, the fear, the determination. All of it leading to this moment. She wasn't the same woman who stood at that cliff edge. That woman was passive, invisible, accepting, broken. This woman was a survivor, fighter, victor. The weight loss was incidental. 80 pounds, soon to be more. But that wasn't what changed her. The change was internal, fundamental. She had stopped apologizing for existing, stopped shrinking, stopped disappearing. Mirror technique moment, the bottles of vitamins Marcus insisted she take. Amy still had some from the house. They had tested them, found metabolic suppressants, weight gain drugs, mood stabilizers. He had been poisoning her for years, making her gain weight, making her sick, making her easier to kill. But the poison had stopped. Her body was healing, recalibrating, finding its natural balance. I'm going to testify, Victoria told Amy. When the trial comes, I'm going to look him in the eye and tell the truth, all of it. That's going to be hard. Everything worth doing is hard. The hardest part is admitting I knew all along. The best part is knowing I survived. The validation whisper felt complete now. She had admitted the truth, to herself, to the world. She had known Marcus was pulling away, known something was wrong, known and ignored it, because facing it meant losing everything. But she'd lost everything anyway, and in losing, found herself. Marcus's mother visited, Judith Brennan, cold, furious, desperate. You've destroyed him, Judith said, destroyed our family name, all because of your paranoid delusions. They were at Trevor's office, legal meeting. Judith wanted Victoria to drop charges, wanted her to recant, to lie, to save Marcus. Your son tried to murder me, Victoria said calmly. He made a mistake, got involved with the wrong woman. Financial pressure, but he wouldn't. He couldn't. He did, and you know it. You've always known what he is. You just chose not to see. Judith's perfect mask cracked. He's my son. And I was his wife. Which matters more, blood or decency? Don't you dare lecture me about decency. You trapped him with your neediness, your weight, your failures. He felt sorry for you, married you out of pity, and you repaid him with accusations. Trevor stood. Mrs. Brennan, this meeting is over. You need to leave. I'm not finished. Yes, you are. After Judith left, Victoria sat in silence. The words had stung. Some part of her still believed them, believed she was the problem, the failure, the reason Marcus strayed. Don't, Trevor said, reading her face. Don't let her get in your head. Marcus's choices are his, not yours. He could have divorced you, could have been honest, could have been a decent and human being. He chose murder instead. That's on him. I know, logically I know, but emotionally. Emotionally, you're still healing from years of emotional abuse, gaslighting, manipulation. Give yourself time, give yourself grace. Grace, Victoria turned the word over. Grace for herself, for surviving, for being human, for being flawed. She had spent 22 years denying herself grace, punishing herself for the miscarriages, for the weight, for not being enough. But she was enough, had always been enough. Marcus just couldn't see it, wouldn't see it, because seeing her meant confronting his own emptiness. The preliminary hearing came. Victoria testified. Brief, factual. The judge found probable cause, set trial date, 6 months out. Marcus was led away in handcuffs. He looked at her, their eyes met. No love there, no regret, just hatred. Pure, undiluted, poisonous. Victoria didn't look away, held his gaze. Let him see she wasn't afraid, wasn't broken, wasn't destroyed. She was free. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Questions, cameras, microphones. Trevor handled them. Victoria stood silent. Let her presence speak. The woman who survived. The woman who fought back. The woman who won. That night, Victoria returned to the cliff, alone. Amy had offered to come, but this was something she needed to do herself. She stood at the edge, the same spot, the same view. The Pacific stretched endless below. Wind whipped her hair, but she wasn't afraid. This place had nearly killed her, but it had also freed her, shattered the old life, the old Victoria, the one who accepted, who disappeared, who died slowly. The new Victoria was forged in pain, tempered in fire, unbreakable. She didn't place flowers, didn't say words, just stood there, reclaiming the space, reclaiming herself, reclaiming her story. Then she turned, walked away, back to her car, back to Amy's apartment, back to her life. The trial would come. She would testify. She would face Marcus one last time, and she would win. But tonight she had already won, by surviving, by standing here, by refusing to disappear. She drove away from the cliff, away from the past, towards something new, something unknown, something hers. Marcus Brennan's perfect life began to crumble. News of his arrest spread fast. The embezzlement, the attempted murder, the mistress. Every ugly detail splashed across headlines. Social media exploded. Think pieces, hot takes, true crime podcasts. CEO pushed wife off cliff for life insurance. Millionaire's murder plot exposed. The woman who survived. Victoria's face was everywhere. Before photos, after photos, the transformation documented, analyzed, celebrated. She became a symbol. Survivor, fighter, victim turned victor. Marcus became a villain, monster, cautionary tale. Everything he'd built crumbled. The company, the reputation, the carefully constructed image. His bail hearing was swift. Judge denied bail. Flight risk, danger to witnesses. Marcus was remanded to county jail to await trial. The board voted to remove his name from the company. Brennan Industries became Phoenix Solutions, rising from ashes, leaving Marcus behind. Judith made one last attempt, called Victoria, begged, please, drop the charges. We'll give you money, as much as you want. Just let him go. No, he's my son. He tried to kill me, multiple victims. Your son is a predator, and he's going to prison. Judith hung up. That was the last Victoria heard from the Brennan family. They closed ranks, hired expensive lawyers. But the evidence was overwhelming. Public opinion was decided. Marcus Brennan was guilty. The trial began on a cold January morning, 11 months after the cliff. Victoria had spent the time healing, working, building a new life. The weight loss continued. Not dramatic, not urgent, just steady. 130 pounds now. Her body finding equilibrium. But the number didn't matter. She was strong, mobile, alive. She had started speaking. Advocacy work, domestic violence survivors, women rebuilding after abuse. Her story resonated, gave others hope, courage, voice. She wasn't invisible anymore. Couldn't be. Too many people knew her face, her story, her survival. The courthouse was packed. Media, spectators, victims' advocates, everyone wanted to see, would justice prevail? Would the rich CEO escape? Or would Victoria win? Marcus entered in orange jail scrubs, thinner, pale. Prison had stripped away his polish, revealed the hollow man beneath. Their eyes met. He glared. She stared back, steady, unflinching, unafraid. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Prosecutors presented evidence, financial records, text messages, witness testimony. Amy testified about Victoria's marriage, the emotional abuse, the isolation, the way Marcus controlled everything. Patrick testified about Marcus's hospital visits, the threats, the coldness, the lack of genuine concern. Sienna testified about the affair, the promises, the texts about Victoria being in the way. Marcus's statement that this ends today. Detective Bennett testified about the investigation, the footprints, the witness, the pattern of behavior. The ex-girlfriend testified, tears streaming, about her own accident, the stairs, the broken back, Marcus's threats, the payoff, the silence. Medical experts testified about Victoria's injuries, the severity, the impossibility of surviving, the miracle. Finally, Victoria took the stand. Trevor asked questions. She answered. Calm, clear, honest. Tell the jury what happened on October 15th, at the cliff. Victoria took a deep breath. Marcus and I had been married 22 years. The last 10 were difficult. I gained weight, had miscarriages, fell into depression. Marcus pulled away, worked late, was distant, cold. She continued. The anniversary hike, the isolated trail, Marcus's phone buzzing, the strange energy, the feeling that something was wrong. We reached the cliff. He suggested a photo. I moved to the edge. He stood behind me. I felt his hands on my back, not steadying, pushing. Hard, deliberate. I fell. The courtroom was silent, everyone leaning forward, hanging on every word. I hit a tree growing from the cliff face. It broke my fall, saved my life. I looked up. Marcus was standing at the edge, watching, making sure. Then he turned and walked away. What did you think in that moment? Trevor asked. I thought he tried to kill me. My husband, the man who promised to love me forever, tried to murder me. Victoria's voice didn't shake, didn't break. She was done crying, done being wounded. This was testimony, truth, justice. Marcus's lawyer cross-examined, tried to poke holes, suggest confusion, head injury, medication, false memories. Isn't it possible you slipped and your traumatized brain created a false narrative? No. No, you're certain? I know what I felt, his hands, the force, the intention. I know what I saw, his face, cold, calculating, satisfied. That wasn't an accident. That was attempted murder. The lawyer tried again, attacked her credibility, her weight gain, her depression, her instability. You were unhappy in your marriage? Yes. Resentful of your husband's success? No, hurt by his neglect, but not resentful. You admit you were depressed, on medication, not thinking clearly. I was depressed because my husband was emotionally abusive, neglectful, having an affair, and planning to kill me. Anyone would be depressed under those circumstances. Mirror technique moment. Victoria met Marcus's eyes, on the stand, the moment of clarity, the moment of power. She wasn't the victim here. Not anymore. He was. Victim of his own choices, his own cruelty, his own stupidity. The jury deliberated. 4 days. Victoria waited, anxious, hopeful, terrified. On day 4 they returned. Verdict ready. Everyone stood. Victoria's heart pounded. This was it. Everything came down to this moment. 12 strangers deciding truth, justice, her future. The judge asked, "Has the jury reached a verdict?" "We have, Your Honor." "On the charge of attempted murder in the first degree, how do you find?" "We find the defendant guilty." The word echoed, guilty, guilty, guilty. Victoria gasped. Tears flooded. Relief, validation, justice. The jury continued. Guilty on embezzlement, guilty on fraud, guilty on assault, guilty, guilty, guilty. Marcus's face crumpled. His lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Sentencing set for 2 weeks. Victoria walked out of the courtroom. Media swarmed. She stopped. Made a statement. "Thank you to the jury, to Detective Bennett, to Trevor Hayes, to everyone who believed me, who fought for me, who refused to let a powerful man escape justice. This verdict isn't just for me. It's for every woman whose voice was silenced, every victim who was told they were crazy, every survivor who was blamed for their own abuse. We are seen. We are heard. We are believed." She walked away, cameras flashing, questions shouting, but she was done. Done explaining, done justifying, done fighting. She had won. Sentencing day came. January 25th. Cold, clear, perfect. Marcus stood before the judge. Pale, defeated, broken. The judge spoke. Lengthy, damning. 25 years for attempted murder, 10 years for embezzlement, 5 years for fraud, 5 years for assault, 45 years total. Sentences to run consecutively. Marcus was 46 years old. He'd be 91 when released. If he lived that long, effectively life in prison. Victoria sat in the gallery, watching, feeling nothing. Not satisfaction, not joy, just closure. The nightmare was over. Marcus couldn't hurt her anymore, couldn't hurt anyone. After sentencing, Judith approached, older, grayer, diminished. "I should have listened," Judith said quietly. When you first accused him, I should have believed you. I'm sorry." Victoria looked at her former mother-in-law, this woman who had dismissed her, insulted her, chosen her son over truth. "Thank you," Victoria said. "That means something. Will you ever forgive him?" "No, forgiveness is for people who show remorse. Marcus doesn't. He's only sorry he failed, that he got caught, that he lost." "Will you forgive me?" Victoria considered. Judith was a victim too, of her own loyalty, her own blindness, her own refusal to see. "Maybe, someday, but not today." Judith nodded, turned to leave, then stopped. "For what it's worth, you're stronger than I ever gave you credit for. Marcus underestimated you. So did I. That was our mistake." She left. Victoria sat alone in the empty courtroom. Everything was done. Finished. Complete. The door opened. Patrick entered. They'd stayed in touch. Friends, maybe more, maybe not. Time would tell. "How do you feel?" he asked. "Empty, like I should feel triumphant, but I just feel tired, relieved, ready for this chapter to close." "That's normal. You've been in crisis mode for a year, fighting, surviving. Now the fight is over. You're safe. Your body is catching up with your reality." They walked out together. The courthouse steps, the winter sun, the fresh air. Victoria breathed deep. Free air, free life, free future. She had survived, more than survived, transformed, become someone new, someone she liked, someone she recognized. Not Victoria Brennan, not Victoria Collins, just Victoria, herself, complete. The phone call started immediately. Book deals, movie rights, speaking engagements. Everyone wanted a piece of her story, her survival, her justice. Trevor helped her navigate. Contracts, rights, fair compensation. Her story was valuable. And for the first time in years, Victoria had money. Her own money, earned, deserved, hers. Amy threw a party, small, intimate, just close friends, people who had stood by her, believed her, fought for her. To Victoria, Amy toasted, who refused to disappear, who fought back, who won. Everyone cheered. Victoria smiled. This was her tribe, her people, her support. She had lost a marriage, but gained a family, found herself, built something real. That night, alone in her apartment, her own apartment now, not Amy's spare room, Victoria looked in the mirror. The woman staring back was familiar, strong, scarred but whole. Survivor. Victor. She finally understood that the prison door had been unlocked all along. She'd been her own warden. The wisdom moment, the final realization. Marcus had imprisoned her with words, with manipulation, with fear. But the cage was mental, emotional, not real. She could have left years ago, could have filed for divorce, could have walked away, but she'd believed his lie, believed she was worthless, unlovable, lucky to have him. Now she knew better. She was worthy, lovable, complete on her own. Marcus had tried to kill her body, but she'd been killing her spirit for years, starving it, burying it, erasing it. They'd both failed. Her body lived. Her spirit survived. Stronger than ever. Tomorrow she started her job. Victim advocacy coordinator. Helping others who were where she'd been, lost, invisible, trapped. She would help them find their voices, their strength, their freedom, because she knew the way out, had walked the path, had survived the fall, and she would light the way for others. 1 year after the verdict, I returned to the cliff. October 15th, anniversary of the fall. 2 years since Marcus pushed her, since her old life ended, since her new life began. Victoria stood at the edge, the same spot, same view, same wind. But everything was different. She weighed 125 pounds, 5 pounds less than her wedding day. But that wasn't the change. The change was confidence, strength, self-possession. She wore hiking clothes, expensive, quality. She'd bought them herself, with her own money, from her book advance, from her speaking fees, from her salary. Her book had published 3 months ago. Surviving the Fall, One Woman's Journey from Victim to Victor. New York Times bestseller, Women's Empowerment. True crime, memoir, reviews called it harrowing and inspiring. Said Victoria's voice was unflinching and powerful. Readers wrote letters, thousands of them, sharing their stories, their survival, their gratitude. She was helping, making a difference, mattering. The speaking engagements came next. Universities, conferences, shelters, anywhere women gathered, anywhere survivors needed hope. She told her story over and over. Each telling hurt less. Each telling felt more like testimony, less like trauma. The nonprofit started 6 months ago. Phoenix Rising, supporting domestic violence survivors. Legal aid, therapy, job training, helping women rebuild. Victoria ran it, with Amy's help, with Trevor's legal support, with Patrick's steady presence. Patrick. They'd started dating 5 months ago, slowly, carefully, learning each other, building something real, something healthy, something mutual. He made her laugh, made her feel safe, made her feel seen, not worshipped, not pedestaled, just seen, human, flawed. Enough. They didn't live together. Victoria wasn't ready, maybe never would be. Independence felt too precious, too hard-won, too necessary. But they were happy, growing, discovering, together but separate, connected but individual. Amy joined her at the cliff, best friend, sister, survivor in her own right. "How does it feel?" Amy asked. "Different. I'm not afraid anymore. This place doesn't own me, doesn't define me. It's just a cliff, just a place where something terrible happened. But I survived. I won. The end." They stood together, wind whipping, ocean crashing, life continuing. "Do you ever regret it?" Amy asked. "The trial, the publicity, the exposure? You could have taken a settlement, disappeared, started over quietly." "No, I needed people to know, needed the truth public, needed justice witnessed." Private settlements protect abusers. Public trials protect victims. You've changed the conversation. Domestic violence, attempted murder, believing women, your case set precedent. Victoria knew. Marcus's case was cited in other trials, other prosecutions. His conviction helped other women. Made other verdicts possible. Good from evil, light from darkness, hope from horror. They scattered flowers. Not in mourning, in celebration. Of survival, of strength, of second chances. Victoria said a prayer. Not religious, just words. To the universe. To fate. To whatever force had saved her. Thank you. For the tree. For the survival. For the second chance. I won't waste it. They hiked back down. Victoria's leg ached slightly. Always would. Permanent damage. Chronic pain. The limp was permanent too. Visible. Undeniable. But she didn't hide it. Didn't apologize. Her scars were proof. Evidence. Badges of survival. The prison visit happened 1 month before the Cliff anniversary. Victoria had debated, should she go? Should she face him? Was there any point? Dr. Foster helped her decide. What do you need? Closure, confrontation, answers? Or do you need to prove you are not afraid? All of it, none of it, I don't know. Then maybe that's your answer. You don't need anything from him. You have already won. You're already free. He's the one in prison, in every sense. But Victoria went anyway. Curiosity, finality, witnessing. Marcus looked terrible. Prison aged him. Gray hair, gaunt face, empty eyes. The power was gone. The confidence was gone. Everything that made him Marcus Brennan was stripped away. They sat across from each other, glass between them, phones connecting voices. Why are you here? Marcus asked. I don't know, closure maybe, or to see if you'd apologize. For what? You destroyed my life. I survived your murder attempt. You destroyed your own life. Marcus laughed, bitter, hollow. You always were delusional. I didn't try to kill you. You slipped, fell, and turned it into some conspiracy. The jury disagreed unanimously. The jury was manipulated by your tears, your performance, your victim act. Victoria studied him. No remorse, no recognition, no humanity, just bitterness, blame, denial. Why did you do it? She asked. Really? Was it the money, Sienna, or did you just hate me that much? Marcus leaned forward. You want the truth? Fine. You disgusted me, fat, needy, broken. Every day I came home and saw you, I felt trapped, suffocated. You were supposed to be temporary, a starter wife, but you wouldn't leave, wouldn't improve, just got worse and worse. So you tried to kill me. I tried to free myself. You were a burden, an embarrassment, and yes, the money would have helped, but mostly, I just wanted you gone, dead, erased, out of my life. The words should have hurt, but they didn't. They were just true. His truth, ugly, honest, evil. Thank you, Victoria said. For what? For showing me who you really are, for pushing me off that cliff, because surviving it made me realize something important. What's that? I was already dead, living with you, hating myself, disappearing. I was already gone. You just tried to make it official. But failing to kill me, that forced me to live, really live, for the first time in 22 years. Victoria stood. Enjoy prison. You've got 45 years to think about the woman you tried to erase, the woman who erased you instead. She walked out, left him there, in his orange jumpsuit, in his cell, in his future of nothing. That was the last time she saw Marcus Brennan, or thought about him, really thought about him. He was the past, irrelevant, powerless. She had won, completely, utterly, finally. The speaking engagement came 2 weeks after the Cliff anniversary. Major university, women's empowerment conference, 5,000 attendees. Victoria stood backstage. Nervous? This was the biggest audience yet, the most important talk, the culmination of everything. Patrick squeezed her hand. You've got this. Just tell your truth. That's all they need. She walked on stage. Applause thundered. 5,000 women standing, cheering, celebrating. Victoria smiled, waited. The noise faded. Silence settled. 2 years ago, my husband pushed me off a cliff. He thought I would die. He was wrong. She told her story, the marriage, the abuse, the invisibility, the fall, the survival, the justice, but she told more than that. She told about reclaiming herself, about finding strength, about refusing to be erased. I spent 22 years making myself smaller, quieter, less, because I thought that's what love required, sacrifice, erasure. But that's not love, that's imprisonment. The audience listened, rapt, present, connected. Some of you are in relationships that make you feel invisible, that diminish you, that hurt you. You think you can't leave, that you're not strong enough, smart enough, worthy enough. I'm here to tell you, you are. You absolutely are. She paused, gathered herself. I didn't feel strong when I was falling off that cliff, or lying in the hospital, or learning to walk again. Strength isn't a feeling, it's a choice, a decision, an action. Every day you choose to keep breathing, that's strength. Every time you say no to someone who hurts you, that's strength. Every moment you refuse to disappear, that's strength. She told him about the mirror technique moment, the phone checking, the panic cleaning, the sitting in the car unable to go inside, the small ways she'd been controlled. If any of this sounds familiar, if you recognize yourself in my story, please hear me. You deserve better. You deserve to be seen, to be heard, to be loved, really loved, not diminished, not controlled, not erased. Victoria's voice strengthened. And if you're already out, if you've already left, already survived, I see you, I celebrate you, and I want you to know, it gets better. You get stronger, and you will be okay. More than okay, you will be free. She finished. The prison door was unlocked all along. I just needed to fall 200 feet to realize it. I hope your awakening is gentler. But whenever it comes, however it comes, walk through that door, choose freedom, choose yourself. The applause was deafening. Women crying, standing, cheering. Victoria stood there, letting it wash over her, this moment, this purpose, this life. After, hundreds lined up, wanting to talk, to share, to connect. Victoria stayed for hours, listening, supporting, witnessing. One woman, young, maybe 25, grabbed her hands. My boyfriend pushed me downstairs last year. Everyone said it was an accident, that I was clumsy. But I knew, like you knew. Thank you for making me feel less crazy. You're not crazy, Victoria said firmly. Trust yourself, your instincts, your truth. And if you need help leaving, please reach out to anyone. My foundation, local shelters, friends. You don't have to stay. The woman nodded, tears streaming. Thank you. Thank you for surviving, for speaking, for existing. Victoria hugged her. Thank you for listening, for recognizing, for choosing yourself. The final scene came that night. Victoria sat in her apartment, alone, quiet, reflecting. Her phone buzzed. Text from Sienna. They'd stayed in touch, became friends. Unlikely, complicated, real. Saw your speech online, criting, proud. Thank you for including me in your story, for not making me the villain. Victoria texted back. You were a victim too, just different. We both survived Marcus. That's what matters. Her apartment was small, but hers, decorated how she wanted, books everywhere, art on the walls, plants in the windows, life, color, choice. She made tea, sat by the window, watched the city lights, thought about the past 2 years, the transformation, the journey, the woman she'd become. She checked her phone. Old habit, but now she wasn't looking for Marcus's attention, wasn't measuring her worth by his response, just checking, human, connected, present. One time, then she put it down, and attention returned to the window, to the night, to herself. The ultimate mirror technique moment. Present, aware, free. Victoria thought about the future. More speaking, more advocacy, more helping. Maybe another book. Maybe not. Maybe just living. Simply, fully, honestly. Patrick was coming over tomorrow. They'd cook dinner, watch a movie, talk, laugh, exist together. Simple, perfect, enough. She'd stopped waiting for permission to be happy, stopped qualifying her joy, stopped apologizing for surviving. She was alive. She was free. She was herself. Finally, completely, unapologetically. The cliff had tried to kill her. Marcus had tried to kill her, but she'd killed the old Victoria herself, the invisible one, the shrinking one, the woman who believed she deserved nothing. That woman was gone, dead, buried, good riddance. The new Victoria was here, staying, thriving, living. She whispered into the quiet apartment, the final validation whisper, the ultimate truth. I survived. I transformed. I won. 3 simple statements. 3 profound truths. 3 words for each. Survived. Transformed. Won. Past. Process. Present. All contained. All honored. All true. Victoria finished her tea, turned off the lights, went to bed. Tomorrow was another day, another chance, another moment of freedom. She slept peacefully. No nightmares, no fear, no Marcus. Just rest, just peace, just life. The woman who fell 200 feet had finally landed, safely, strongly. Home. The end was a beginning, the fall was a flight, the death was a rebirth. Victoria Brennan was dead. Victoria Collins was dead. Just Victoria remained. Survivor, advocate, woman, free. And that was enough. More than enough. Everything. 3 years after the cliff, Victoria stood on a different stage. TEDx, international audience. Millions watching online. Her topic, the power of visibility. She talked about invisibility, how women make themselves small, how abuse thrives in silence, how survival requires being seen. I became invisible slowly. Years of small compromises, tiny erasures, micro disappearances, until I barely existed. And my husband nearly finished the job. She shared statistics. 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence. Most never report. Most never leave. Most become invisible. But we can change that by seeing each other, by believing each other, by refusing to let anyone diminish us, by making visibility a value, a priority, a right. Victoria's message spread. The talk went viral. 50 million views. Schools showed it. Shelters used it. Women shared it. She became a voice. Not the only voice, but a voice, loud, clear, unflinching. Her foundation grew. Chapters in 10 cities, hundreds of women helped, lives saved, futures changed. She wrote a second book, Visible, Reclaiming Your Space in the World. Another bestseller, more impact, more change. Marcus remained in prison, irrelevant, forgotten, exactly where he belonged. Patrick proposed. Victoria said yes, but on her terms. Separate finances, separate spaces, regular therapy, mutual respect, partnership, not possession. They married small ceremony, Amy as witness, Dr. Foster as officiant, Patrick's family, Victoria's new family, people she chose, people who saw her. No Brennans attended. She didn't invite them, didn't need their approval, didn't want their presence. The past was past. The future was bright, open. Hers. Victoria looked in the mirror on her wedding day. 45 years old, healthy, strong, happy, free. The woman looking back was unrecognizable from the woman at the cliff. Different body, different face, different everything, but mostly different eyes. These eyes had seen darkness, had stared into the void, had survived, and they shone with hard-won wisdom, unshakable strength, undeniable truth. I see you, Victoria whispered to her reflection. I see you, and you are enough. the final validation, the ultimate whisper, not from anyone else, from herself to herself, absolute, complete, true. She walked downstairs, took Patrick's hand, said her vows, meant every word. I promise to never make myself smaller for you, to never disappear, to stay visible, present, whole, and I promise to see you too, to witness you and to celebrate you, to build with you. This ideas equals. Amatners, amongst ourselves. Patrick smiled. I promise the same. You are not invisible to me, never have been, never will be. I see you, all of you, and I love what I see. They kissed, everyone cheered. The ceremony ended. The marriage began, different from her first, built on truth, choice, visibility. That night, lying next to Patrick, Victoria thought about the cliff one last time. That moment 200 feet up, falling. Certain she would die. She was grateful, genuinely grateful, for the fall, for the survival, for the transformation, because that fall had freed her from Marcus, from invisibility, from the prison of her own making. She had died at that cliff and been reborn, stronger, clearer, more herself than ever. Some people never get that chance, never fall, never break, never rebuild. They stay trapped, stay invisible, stay diminished. Victoria got out, got free, got herself back, and now she helped others do the same. One woman at a time, one story at a time, one moment of visibility at a time. The prison door had been unlocked all along. She just needed to fall to see it, to walk through it, to choose freedom. She closed her eyes, peaceful, complete, triumphant. The woman who survived, the woman who transformed, the woman who won, just Victoria, finally, forever, free. Victoria's story didn't end at that cliff. It began there. If her journey from invisible to unstoppable moved you, hit that like button. Your engagement helps stories like Victoria's reach other women who need to hear them. Women who feel invisible. Women who are told they're crazy for trusting their instincts. Women who need permission to choose themselves. Drop a comment below. Have you ever felt invisible in a relationship? Have you ever had to choose between your dignity and your security? Your story matters. Your voice matters. This community sees you. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. You might save a life. Seriously. One share could reach a woman sitting in her car, unable to go inside, wondering if she's crazy for thinking something's wrong. Show her she's not alone. And subscribe, because Victoria's story is just one of many. Every week, we bring you real stories of real women who refused to disappear, who survived, who transformed, who won. Your visibility matters, your voice matters, you matter. Until next time, stay visible, stay strong, stay you.